Welcome to Couch Sports Talks. I'm Emerson Smith,
I'm Nate Gravender.
and we're going to kick it off with our recap on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah,
Uh,
Cowboys, Giants.
they
Yeah,
beat the
beat
Giants.
the Giants
Um,
bad.
Dak
Giants have
played
a
pretty good.
yeah. Dak played well. Dak had I mean, only 5 incompletions, no
Mhm.
turnovers. Like that's what you're looking for. I mean, again, it's a bad defense. Like we've seen the Cowboys when they play good defense, it doesn't usually go that well.
Mhm.
Um, but CD coming off his like huge attitude game where like he apologized for like throwing
Yeah,
stuff on the sideline, yelling on the sideline, almost 100 yards on 7 catches. I mean, that's like it's probably what you want out of one of the highest paid receivers in the league. But
yeah, it was great. And on the other side of the ball, Singletary really struggled. He had 14 carries for 24 yards. Like that's crazy.
that's terrible. And
Um,
then, I mean, Malik Neighbors, 12 catches, 115
mhm.
yards.
Huge game.
I
And
mean,
then
huge.
he
Like,
got out in the fourth, so he didn't even finish the
I mean, they're
game.
overusing him. Like, they use him too much.
Yeah.
It's every game. Like, every game, like, close to 100 yards, over 100 yards. Like,
Yeah, but they need him, bro. They have nothing else.
yeah. Yeah, I
They
mean,
they have
Dable's
no
kind
run
of,
game. They had, I mean, yeah, they had 26 total rushing yards. Like, what happened to Daniel Jones?
yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones rushing quarterback, that's not good. I mean, he was like, I mean, he wasn't even sitting in the pocket, like, launching stuff either. I mean, he had to
No.
get it out pretty quick. Um, I mean, Wandale also had 70 yards.
Yeah, huge
Slayton
game.
with over 50. I mean, they could throw the ball. Like the Cowboys secondary didn't really play great. Um,
Yeah, even Darius Slayton had 3 catches for 56 yards.
yeah, but I mean, anytime they get like on the Cowboys side of the field in the red zone, I mean, it would just turn into 3 points. Cowboys red zone defense looks the best it's looked all season against the Giants. I mean, the Giants again, like
For sure. It's not saying
one
much.
of one of the bottom teams in the league, but still,
Yeah,
I mean,
for
um,
sure.
probably a good momentum builder for the Cowboys after their last couple games. Um,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
on I mean, that was just kind of sums up that game because
yeah, I mean,
Cowboys just
Caleb
kind of
Williams gets another win
yeah.
on the resume. Decides to hop off the field like he's playing a game of hopscotch back on the schoolyard. I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell that was, but
I mean,
hopefully we don't have to see that this week, and hopefully the Panthers take care
for
of
sure.
business, and
Yeah.
that's not an issue. But
Yeah, for you.
yeah,
Um, I mean, Swift went crazy this week. Swift has been struggling. Didn't wasn't his longest run like 22 yards
yeah, yeah.
before the
Swift, I thought
and he
Swift was going to
goes
be a product of the Eagles O line, but I mean,
yeah,
again, good.
and he goes
good
90 yards rushing and 70 yards receiving against that Rams defense. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean
yeah, they were
that's
down
what he did at
81.
Georgia. Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
he's a dual threat back, but I mean, Kyron Williams obviously. I mean,
yeah. Another
he's
huge
got to
game.
be a top 3 running back in the league, like consensus. I mean,
It's great.
he's gonna get a little bit more usage with no Puka, no Cooper Cup, but I mean, still, like the way he's been playing, I mean, he
Mhm.
deserves the touches.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, and going back to that, DeAndre Swift was their leading rusher and receiver.
I
Like,
mean, they don't throw the ball to DJ Moore.
which
They
is
do not
yeah.
look at DJ Moore on the sideline. Like, pull up videos of DJ Moore just sitting there pouting like he's in kindergarten. Like, I don't blame him though. They don't throw the ball downfield. They don't trust Caleb Williams. Like, I mean, he
Mhm.
played at the Panthers, and even last year, Justin Fields, they would test downfield. Like Justin Fields, I mean, it wasn't that great, but I mean, he could throw the ball downfield. This
Yeah.
He's not even really trying that to anyone. I mean, Odunze got his first touchdown against the Colts. I mean, it wasn't like a 50-yard pass. Like they're not really.
Yeah.
They don't trust Caleb Williams. I don't know if Caleb Williams can't make the throws, but they're not stretching the field. It's a lot of simple reads, a lot of short passes, runs. I mean, again, offensive line troubles prevent a lot of like developing plays, double moves. But I mean, still, I don't really trust the Bears going forward. I think their 2-2 record makes them seem a little bit better than they are. But again, a young team that's trending in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that defense is really their staple right now. Well, Caleb Williams is still getting his feet under him.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
the defense is good enough to keep him in any game, really. Like,
yeah.
all right,
And we'll
really.
get back to that Caleb Williams and Justin Fields later. We can talk about that a little bit. Just the whole comparison. I get that he's like a rookie and he's played a couple of games, but we can look back at like how they looked when they were first drafted. I'll say it real quick. Not much to say in the Pats loss to the Niners. They weren't good at all. Um, I'm a Patriots fan, so it's not fun. But
Yeah, man.
Mondre has to stop fumbling. I mean, 4 fumbles and four straight game with a fumble is insane. Like that's not okay from an RB1. Especially one that's like supposed to be good, dude. Like he
Yeah.
was supposed to be our best part of our offense. until Drake May gets here. But he's not coming in anytime soon.
Like Drake May, I mean, I think they're making the right call sitting him for the season.
No, I
Bad,
wouldn't put him behind that
bad O
offense.
line. Look at what's happened too with like
It's
Bryce
terrible.
Young, Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, all these guys that are starting out the gate.
Mhm.
Like I mean, other than Stroud and Jaden Daniels, it really hasn't gone well. Like I think
Yeah.
they're playing it safe. Like I mean, even with Drake May, I don't think he gives them. Like I don't think you go from a bad team to a playoff team with Drake May this season. Like there's no point in risking him getting hurt,
Mhm.
like losing confidence to have a mediocre year anyways. Might as well build
Yeah,
for him a
I
better
agree.
team for him in the future.
And then Christian McCaffrey, both legs for the Achilles injury.
I
That's
mean,
so rough.
I said it once, I'll say it again. Availability is the best ability, and he's had
Yeah.
injury troubles his whole career. But this is
Hey,
like
but
this
hey,
isn't a good
maybe
look.
sometimes it's not because they got Jordan Mason,
I mean, dude, they've had this for
right?
years. Like all their running backs have been good.
And Jordan
McCaffrey,
Mason is
Jordan
popping.
Mason. I mean,
24
oh
carries
god,
for 123 yards and a
yeah,
touchdown. Like that's huge for not even being the starting back when
yeah.
your starting back is healthy.
I mean, again,
Um,
Purdy managing the game, but it doesn't really matter when you have that defense and the run
yeah,
game. Like,
for
all right,
sure.
a little NFC South division matchup. Saints and the Falcons.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the Saints look a lot more stoppable than they did the first couple weeks of the season.
yeah.
I mean, really, I think they kind of fooled people. I mean, the Panthers' defense has proven to be. I mean, I'm not looking at the stats right now, but it probably is the worst in the league, especially the back end. And the Cowboys' back end, we just said struggled against the Giants. Like they haven't been great. Um, Saints like throw the deep ball. I mean, it sets up well. Like they set up well against those two teams, but I mean, now back-to-back weeks against the Eagles and then the Falcons, um, like Derek Carr has not looked as poised. The whole team hasn't looked
Yeah,
that great.
and it's
Like,
just a lot of mistakes. I mean, we had that. You had that muff punt by Rasheed Rice in the end zone, and the Falcons scored on it. Like
you mean
that's a
Raheem Shaheed?
huge flip. What?
You mean Raheem Shaheed?
Or yeah, sorry,
Yeah, no, you're good.
I
I was about to say, we'll get to
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes
I
tackling
forget
Rasheed
the
Rice later, but like,
Rasheed
yeah,
Shaheed.
that's
But he fumbled in the end
yeah,
zone. They picked it
yeah,
up, and it was just, like that's a huge swing in any game, especially a close one where it was decided by a 58-yard game-winning field goal.
yeah. Young Wei Koo, I mean, he might be the best kicker in football. Like,
Yeah, he's up there. Brandon Aubrey and a couple other guys are too.
yeah.
But we know
Never
it's
thought I'd be.
sure is not Justin
Oh,
Tucker anymore.
no, dude, never thought I'd be talking in a season where Justin
Never
Tucker
thought
is
I
missing
would. Yep.
50 yarders. Like, I
Yep.
was not expecting
I'm
that.
sad. I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings Packers game, I mean, that was a game I was looking forward to all week. I mean, it really didn't disappoint. Like, I think, and Sam Darnold's my MVP frontrunner right now. I don't think anyone really saw this
Yeah, I
coming
mean,
for him.
if he keeps playing
Uh,
as he is, like you can't deny it.
no, I mean, Brian Flores, the scheme that he's running with that defense, like, they don't have a lot of talent on defense. They have pieces, but I mean, their defense has been good enough to hold opposing teams off. And again, they built that big lead to where they could make some mistakes and still win. But I mean, their offense is just so explosive. Jordan Addison could be wide receiver on half the teams, wide receiver one on half the teams in the NFL. Justin Jefferson, best in the league. Good O line, good run game. Sam Darnold's playing like a number two overall pick. Um, and I think that brings
I
up
mean, they
questions.
slowed down in that second half though. They almost blew that 28-point
Yeah,
lead.
I mean,
That was huge.
I have questions though
Like,
about JJ McCarthy going forward. Like, I mean,
yeah,
do you start him next season if Darnold is like an MVP like
I think it's a
candidate?
let
Like,
Darnold play until he's not. Until
I
he's
mean, I
not.
agree. That's what I would do. But I mean, you spend a high pick on McCarthy, and like I don't know
Yeah.
how long they're gonna want to sit him. Um,
Yeah, I mean, but
but I
there's
mean,
really no
again,
reason to
if
rush him.
Darnold
I
makes
think
a pl-
for that
if
playoff.
Darnold makes a playoff push and is in contention for MVP, like
Yeah.
there's no way they're playing McCarthy. Like, why are you gonna
Mhm.
rock the ship if like he's gonna get you to Super Bowl? Like, it's not like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be there. Josh
Um,
Jacobs still
yeah, he
another
needs to
poor
lock
game.
in. I traded him in fantasy last week.
Yeah,
He's gone.
yeah, I'd sell him
I
for
love him. I've had him the last 3 years. He's been like, it's
yeah,
just not a great fantasy matchup, and he can't seem to get it going on the ground. I mean,
yeah.
he had 9 carries.
Um,
Um,
the Colts hand Justin Fields his first loss of the season to the
yeah.
Steelers. I was not expecting that.
Hold on,
That
hold on,
was
hold
my
on.
lock of the week was the Colts
Before we
game.
move on, let me say one thing. Jaden Reed had a huge week last week. Like
Yeah, Jaden
if
Reed's
I told you
legit.
Jaden Reed would have 2 games this season with over 100 yards and a touchdown,
I mean, I
Like,
wouldn't have believed you. That's why I didn't accept your fantasy trade for Jamar
yeah, I
Chase
know.
and Jay
It was a
Reed.
shitty trade, though, a lot. But
um,
hey, it ended up working out this week if you accept it.
yeah. Um,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, I'll
Back to
say that
the
that's Justin Fields.
Colts game. I mean, I was really surprised by that. Like, the Steelers look like a complete team. The Colts look like a mess. Um, I mean, Anthony Richardson again. Like, I don't really know. I mean, he got hurt. Like,
Yeah.
and then they put him
I mean,
back in. Shane Steichen, I feel like needs to
I
answer
will
some
say,
questions about that. Like,
yes,
I don't
it
know
was
what the deal
stupid.
is with that. Like, I mean, they put all this money into him. They keep saying he's their franchise guy. He gets hurt. Like, series later, he's back out there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
the
mean,
deal is with that.
and he played good to start that game. He had 71 yards on three, like four
Yeah, three or
throws.
four for 71 yards
Four.
is not bad at all.
Well,
But again, when you have Joe Flacco as your backup quarterback, I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Again, I'm not high on Anthony Richardson. I have not been high on Anthony
Flacco
Richardson.
didn't play much better though. If
Uh,
Flacco went in there, I'm super high on Anthony Richardson. We've talked about it before.
yeah,
But if Flacco went in there and killed it, he put up like a bunch of yards, didn't have a lot of incompletions. I would have been like, shit, maybe Anthony Richardson is the problem. But Flacco went in there and he went 6 for 26
yeah, and he
for
didn't turn the ball
168
over, and he
yards.
doesn't turn the ball over, dude. Like,
I agree, that's fair. But
yeah,
I think Anthony Richardson is making those rookie mistakes, and I think he can overcome it.
if he can stay healthy, like, I mean, this is
That's
three
true. I
seasons
mean,
in a row
I'm
with
not
injuries.
saying.
Like, no, I agree. Like, Anthony Richardson has the physical tools to be an elite
Yeah.
quarterback at that level, and he has severe accuracy issues that can be taught through games. But again, if he's not getting enough reps or he's not playing enough games, like,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, he
hard.
definitely has to play. I
Like, it's
totally.
hard to teach that. 3 seasons ago, he's still getting injured, and he's played a total of like 20 NFL games. He's not like
Mhm.
that's a hard decision to make because again,
Yeah.
like, and you spend a top 5 pick in the NFL draft on a guy that was compared to Cam Newton and hasn't played at all like Cam Newton. Again, I'm a Panthers fan, so like Cam Newton, like I really understand how good
And
you
they're
are for
going
the
to
Panthers.
Auburn, so
So
it's like,
yeah, it's hard for me to say Anthony Richardson reminds me of Cam Newton, because like people forget how good Cam Newton was when he first came to Charlotte those first like 5 6 seasons.
yeah.
Um, but that's really all I had to say. Like Fields didn't even play that bad. He still had over 300 yards passing, no interceptions, um, like and a couple rushing touchdowns. I mean that does beg a question of what's like the deal is in Chicago. I know that they've looked better this year with Caleb Williams than they have with Fields, but I mean Justin Fields has looked a lot better without the Bears than the Bears have
Yeah.
looked without Justin Fields. So I don't,
And
um,
yeah,
I
it
don't
begs the
like.
question.
I'm
It's
interested to see
similar
how
to
that.
the Panthers. Is
Yeah,
I mean, like I hate to say it because like I know you're a Panthers fan, but like the bad quarterback play through the Panthers organization and through the Bears organization, like for the
yeah.
past couple of years, has been like
I mean,
almost
like
like
the
it's
Panthers, the
team.
Panthers have bounced around from Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, P.J. Walker, draft Bryce Young,
Hey, and
bench Bryce Young,
can we
Dalton.
talk about how two of those first two names that you named are going crazy right now?
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. Like Tepper is a huge issue in Charlotte. I mean, it kind of sucks for Bryce Young that some of that's kind of been lifted with the way Andy Dalton's played. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to jump into that game, like the Panthers' offense looks legit. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think it's an offense that people like see and they're like terrified of it,
Is
but it's an
Adam
offense
Thielen
that
still out? He's
what?
out for a while, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't really take any steps back. They still put up almost 25 points. Um, Chuba Hubbard, Leggett got his first career touchdown. Deontay Johnson, like the O line looks like the best O line that the Panthers have had in over a decade. But they hadn't like their defense is terrible. The Bengals offense still looks rough. They had no run game.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's
like
not. I mean, Brown and Moss both had over 50 yards. Moss
on the
had 50
ground,
and what?
on the ground.
Yeah, rushing yards.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of deceiving. Like when you walk, like I mean, 100 rushing yards given up is still. I mean, they're a real bad defense. But like when you'd watch those early downs, like they're not getting any push. That was late. A lot of those yards came late game too, and they're trying to run clock out.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I bet they
but
did.
like, I mean, the Bengals passing offense is really good, but they run up against a team with a good secondary, and it's
Hmm.
like that's where they're going to struggle. I mean, the Panthers defense was easy for them to pick apart and whatever. I mean, the Panthers again another bottom feeder in the league. Decent offense, really bad defense. Like that the biggest takeaway from the Panthers is that they need a lot of defensive help. Um,
Yeah.
like one player's not going to fix that. They needed a lot of defensive help.
What's your thought on Rodgers after that game this week losing to the Broncos?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that was a brutal watch. That was a
It
brutal
was rough. I
game to
mean,
watch. Like,
Bo Nix threw for
again,
what, 60 yards? Hold on. You know Cortland Sutton had 60 yards and Bo Nix threw for 60 yards?
wow. I mean, that's,
That's insane.
yeah, that's,
Finally, I will say, I have to give them props. Cortland Sutton has been like needed to be used in that offense a lot more than he has been because I think he's in like a really good receiver,
yeah.
but you got to be able to get more than 60 yards and spread the ball out to more than one receiver, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, rain game, like,
Yeah,
um, Rodgers isn't the problem. The run game is the problem.
yeah.
Like,
I
we
will say,
saw for 4 yards is
yeah,
like,
it's terrible,
like, that's
and
just what you cannot be doing.
especially in a rain game, that's what you need. You need the run
Yeah,
game.
I mean, you need to have sure hands, get it on the ground. Like,
Mhm.
again, it was going to be low scoring. Um, I mean, Bo Nix, like, I don't think he's that bad. Like, I really don't think he's that bad. I think that he's like, I think in that system they get a few more pieces on offense, like
Yeah.
especially on the line and receivers.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think,
if they can get a better line, they have the run game. I think their running back is good. I think
yeah, I think the running back room is good. I think
I
they need
think
at least
Claypool
at
is a
least
good
one
running
more
back.
receiver.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think they need
Okay. Yeah.
one more receiver and some offensive line help,
Yeah.
and I think they'll be a pretty good team in the future.
I agree. Because I mean, I saw a lot of like analysts or just people in general saying, "Oh, Broncos will be the worst team in the league this year. Broncos worst team in the league." I never saw that. Like I didn't really get
Yeah.
that at all. Like I don't think they're good. Like I don't think anyone like plays the Broncos and they're like, oh, like I'm
Oh
afraid to
yeah,
play
yeah,
them. But it's not like they're gonna have less than 5 wins in the season. They're gonna be like a
yeah.
top five pick. Like I think they're moving in the right direction too, which is really
For
what
sure.
matters when you're going through a rebuild.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but if you want to move to the Bucks Eagles game,
Yeah, that's my favorite game of the week. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean that's just a
I,
tale of two quarterbacks to me. I
yeah,
mean
Baker.
Baker and Hurts.
I gotta say Baker's right up there with Sam Darnold. I had them
Dude,
both
I mean
high.
it's that 2018 QB draft.
It's
Sam
insane.
Darnold, Baker Mayfield, like everyone doubted him too. Like the
30 for
Panthers made him look bad.
47, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 picks. I mean,
Yeah, I mean I
he
don't like.
he spread the ball. He had 4 receivers with 50 yards and 6 with 20 plus.
Yeah, like you can't expect more from him. Like he's
Nothing.
playing great football, and Hurts is playing terrible football in my opinion. I'm just really not
Yeah.
impressed with what he's doing. Like
I mean, now what I'll say about that is I think the Eagles' struggles have a lot to do with Sirianni, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean he's like a
He,
pouty child coaching them.
yeah,
Like I don't like
he
him and
answered. Yeah, you got it.
yeah, no, yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that.
He answered the question after the game. Why Saquon didn't get a touch for the first 3 drives?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like he's like, yeah, we're playing situational football. We got in a third 3 and out every time. Yeah, so you run the ball at the beginning of the drives, first, second down,
Yeah, I don't.
then you go from there. You have in my opinion the best running back in the league, and you're not going to use him in
Yeah,
your
best
first
O
three
line in
drives of the
football,
game.
best running back in the league. I mean, like no one can stop him. Like no one's been able to stop him. No one probably. I don't think a team has the defense to be able to stop him with that line. But I mean, they want to like. I don't know if they want to try and like have Hurts look like he can throw the ball real well because like he's
Mhm.
struggling like a lot.
Yeah,
And I don't see like. I mean, everyone was like, oh, they got Jalen Carter last year. Like they're gonna be this powerhouse for years and years to come. And
yeah,
like, I mean, you see the Eagles on their schedule. Like, I don't really
oh,
think teams are like
yeah,
whatever. Like, I mean,
not
if they're a
scared.
fine football team, they're not bad, but they're not like. I don't think they have the team to make a deep playoff run this season, even in the NFC.
I will say the one thing that I think the Eagles have going for them is Goddard's finally back on his horse. I mean, he's 7 receptions for 62 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been very like quiet, inconsistent
Oh yeah.
in the
Yeah.
last couple of years,
Um,
and they need
the
him to get going again.
the Jaguars, dude. I mean, 0-4, worst team in football. They suck. Like they are really really bad. Like I have a hard time watching the Jaguars play football at all. Shout out Tank Bigsby though.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out Auburn.
yeah, really.
He's leading the league in yards per carry.
Yeah. I mean, that's
So that's
impressive. Like,
huge.
I mean,
Uh,
Brian Thomas, like, I mean, ETN's still a great running back. I still think he's a better running back than
yeah,
Tank
no,
Bigsby.
for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, Brian Thomas is still like, I mean, he's putting up numbers. He's running
Putting
good
up
routes. Like,
numbers.
he's getting
I was saying
open.
at the beginning of the season, the best. I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong. But my favorite two people coming out of college were Jaden Daniels, number one. I
Yeah,
was like all in on him, and Brian Thomas Jr. Because I
yeah,
think I think once he gets his legs on there and Trevor Lawrence starts playing like a competent quarterback again and doesn't go like 8 for 33 with 169 yards.
yeah.
I mean, like he's playing okay. I'm not gonna say he's playing terrible, but like he has to play better than that.
No, he's just not like he's not putting them in situations to win. Like he's not
No,
like
he's
when they
playing good
start
enough
getting
to like,
momentum, like
yeah,
it does not start to go well. I mean, again, and then Stroud bounced back after losing
yeah.
last week. I mean, the
Mhm.
Giants. I mean, the Jaguars are just like a free win at this point. Like I don't even know. Like I don't even know. Like what do you do with the Jaguars? Like do you give up on Trevor Lawrence so soon after paying him that huge contract and,
I wouldn't have paid him. I don't know why they did.
and draft
We were talking about it at the beginning of the season. Like
yeah.
I've never been
uh,
high on Trevor Lawrence. Out of college, I
um,
was like out on him, and
yeah,
yeah,
we'll
I
see how the
hope this is his
season.
career because he has a good team around him, in my opinion. I think he has like pretty good
Yeah,
weapons on
no, I
offense
agree.
all around. Maybe it's the play calling, maybe it's the coaching. I don't know. I can't say for sure,
Yeah.
but yeah. And then biggest thing, I know Jake's super happy about it. My roommate, because he has him in fantasy, and this is his first year playing. Nico Collins is going insane.
Dude, I'm so
Uh,
glad that the Diva Diggs has not taken away from
oh
Nico
my
Collins'
God, yeah.
production.
Hey,
Like,
he's
I mean,
embracing his wide receiver two role.
yeah, like I don't like. I mean, the Bills have been fine without him. Texans have been fine with him, but I mean, he's still not like. I mean, he talks like he's like a top five receiver in the league. Could be a wide receiver one on any team, and that's not really
Yeah,
the case. Like, he's not even a wide receiver one on his own team. Um,
yeah. I mean, Nico Collins might
Nico
be
Collins,
one of
like,
the, like, if not number one in the league right now. He has the second most catches in the league, 30, and he has the most receiving yards,
I mean, he has one of the
434.
best route trees in the league.
I
Like,
think
he's almost impossible to guard.
I will say they've been
Uh,
trying. I know this week they did because I saw them throw to him a lot in the red zone, but he only has two touchdowns. That's the one thing in his game where he
because
hasn't gotten
Diggs
into
wants the
the
touchdowns, dude.
end zone that much. Yeah, because as long as Diggs gets the
Yeah,
touchdown, he's just like, all right, well, I don't need the yards. I'm scoring.
yeah.
I get the flashy part.
No, but I mean, yeah, Nico Collins. I mean, I think like I don't think it's crazy to say he's a top five receiver in the league. Like I don't think that'd be a
Yeah,
cool statement to make.
I don't think it's that
Um,
crazy.
I know a
Now,
lot of
can he
people.
keep it up? I'm not 100% sure, but he's a
Yeah, I'm
big
not
body
sure that
receiver, a good
like I'm
quarterback.
not sure that like just matching up against Nico Collins, you're like, oh my God, like this, like I'm
Yeah,
so worried to guard this guy. But I mean, maybe like
maybe he's
I mean,
just
his route
yeah
tree is so developed. Like his just route
yeah
running is crisp. Like he has
mhm,
speed. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the league, but I mean, he really like it's a good match with C.J. Stroud too.
for sure.
I like what the Texans are doing. I think they have a really bright future ahead. Um, Probably the game I'm most excited to talk about,
Yeah,
or not the game, but just the player, Jaden
player.
Daniels. Once again, I mean, just like
Huge. I
just
mean, just
monster
another
game.
great game. He did have the pick, which was like a missed throw. It happens.
His
He's
first
a
turnover of the
rookie.
season,
First
first pick
turnover
of
of
the
the
season.
season. They punted what? They punted once in this game, right?
I think it was once, yeah,
Yeah. First punt in 3 games, right?
yeah.
I mean, they punted week one. It was their first punt since week one. And he threw one
Every
interception.
year,
But he had 233 yards, a touchdown, and 8 carries for 47 yards and a rushing touchdown. I
yeah.
mean,
I
if
mean,
he keeps that up, it's just unstoppable. And good for Scary Terry for finally coming back and getting some stuff done because
yeah.
he's needed it. He's needed the resurgence in his career.
No, I
It's
agree. I think again, I mean, it's a lot like I hate people that, like recency bias and comparisons and all that, but like, I mean, it does feel a little bit like the Texans from last year, number two overall pick. You get the
yeah.
consensus number two quarterback,
Hmm.
ends up outperforming the number one overall pick. Again, the Commanders team is a much better situation than the Bears team, the same way the Texans situation, much better situation than the Panthers situation. But I mean, at the end of the day, like they're gonna be. I feel like they're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be one of the top teams in the league, and they have a lot of young talent that will just like they're gonna be tough to stop again. And like Jaden Daniels really like I mean he really is that guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know I don't really know what people were seeing in Caleb Williams that they weren't seeing in Jaden Daniels that last year. I mean his Heisman season like
Yeah. I
that would have
mean,
given me pause to draft him number one overall. Like
you
again,
remember, yeah. You
I
remember
know it was
last
one
year.
season.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You remember last year when I did that project on Jaden Daniels. Like
Yeah, I
I
do
had to do
remember
some
that.
project for school. I did a full project on Jaden Daniels and Brian Thomas Jr. and like they were my two highest prospects. Like
I mean,
I
come
I
on, dude.
don't know
There's
how.
no way you were saying Brian Thomas was better than Malik Neighbors coming out of college, dude, or
No,
Marvin.
no, no, no. Okay, okay, okay. They were my uh uh like for where they were gonna be drafted. They
Okay,
were my
okay.
like
Yeah, yeah,
biggest.
no, 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 I got you.
Because I wanted my the whole project was about the Patriots drafting Jaden if he falls to 3, or if he or if we got like traded up to 2, but then we traded back into the first round and got Brian Thomas because I just wanted to pair them back up because I thought that would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Could you
seen how
imagine? Could you
the
imagine
college.
if the Commanders had Brian Thomas on top of their team right now? I mean, they need that extra receiver.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
was thinking about it yesterday. It would have been insane if the Commanders drafted back in that first round
Yeah,
and got Brian Thomas. I mean,
I mean, he went like early 20s, so I don't think they were really gonna want to give up what it would have taken to
yeah.
move
I
that
mean,
high.
think about it now. I mean, yes, it's like looking back right now, we're gonna say it's good, but like, what do the Commanders not have? Like, what's the one thing that they need?
I mean, wide receiver and probably some linebackers
Yeah,
or a
but
linebacker.
I mean, they have Bobby Wagner, old ass,
Oh yeah,
but
Obi-Wan Kenobi
I mean, like,
himself.
I don't know. I just think the Commanders. I mean, we can get into it right now. Devontae Adams is obviously getting traded. They said it
Yeah,
today. He's
yeah,
getting traded. Commanders and Chiefs are my two big places that I like. He has to go.
I could see that. I mean, like, call me crazy. I don't hate her. Back to Green Bay. I mean, I know they just got beat by the Vikings, but I mean, they need a alpha dog receiver. They have a quarterback that's proven to be. So I don't know if he's really deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the league, but I mean, still, like, I don't I don't really see that as out of the realm of possibilities. I don't think it's the most likely.
Yeah,
Again, to be honest, I think the Chiefs are probably most likely
yeah.
again. He's getting older. He wants a ring. The
And
Chiefs to
Racy
me,
Rice and Mahomes just tore Racy
yeah,
Rice's
yeah.
ACL.
I mean, I don't really
Although
know what we want
apparently
to say
they're
about
going to
that.
look at it again to see if he can play.
Rasheed Rice.
Yeah, like they're getting a
There's no
second
way.
opinion on. Yeah,
There's no way, dude.
it's
Mahomes
crazy.
took his ass out.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
like I don't know what he's doing. Like that was one of the goofiest looking things I've ever seen in my life. I hope Rasheed Rice makes fast recovery, but I mean, dude, like, what are you doing as a quarterback?
Yeah.
Like,
One other thing that I wanted to add on to that Commanders game was Jaden Daniels has been a lead on the ground. We know like his rushing has been huge.
yeah,
I don't know what he is now, but he's been up there with Lamar for like most rushing first downs.
yeah. I mean, he
Uh,
reminds me a lot of Lamar
yeah,
Jackson with a better passer ability right out of college.
yeah.
Um, like he just, I don't know. I really like Jane Daniels. I really like where he's gonna end up. I
But
think the
if we look,
Commanders are a good fit for him too.
yeah, and if we look at both of those teams, I definitely think Jaden Daniels and Lamar's upside have been pulling up their running game and just their overall game
Yeah,
because Brian Robinson had 101 yards and Jeremy McNichols had 68. They had 3 rushing touchdowns that weren't Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had 1. They had
yeah,
4 rushing touchdowns and like over 200 rushing yards as a
yeah.
backfield. Like it's just an overall like great scheme for
Yeah.
how it works. And we're
Great
about to talk
system
about it. I
for
think they're like the
Daniels.
next team on our list. Let me see. They're up in a little bit because they were whatever. But Derrick Henry had 200 yards.
I don't know why people kept saying Derrick Henry was washed. I mean, like. I mean, I don't really agree with that,
Yeah.
especially in a system like the Ravens is a great place for him to be able to put up a lot of yards. I mean, you can't really stop the rushing threat of him and Lamar. Plus, they've got some fast guys
Mhm.
on the outside. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's a hard team to stop. They got off to kind of a slow start, couple losses, but I mean I wasn't really worried about them this season, and they've kind of shown why.
Yeah.
Um,
And that Browns Raiders game was pretty bad.
that's another that
It
was
wasn't.
probably in my opinion that was the second worst game behind the
Yeah.
Titans
And yeah, exactly.
Dolphins shit show. I
But
don't even know if we want to talk about that. Both those teams
I
suck.
did think the Browns were going to come back there.
Uh,
Did you not?
It's
Did
so
you watch
bad.
that game at all?
Yes, the Browns are just so bad. Like they're wasting all their defensive talent. Like they're wasting it. Miles Garrett, Denzel Ward, JOK. I mean, they have more guys. I just don't want to list them all. But like they're wasting their talent with Deshaun Watson and that just shitter of an offense. I know Chubb's
I
out
mean,
and like
Jerry
he's a
Judy
big part
played
of the
well for the
offense.
first time in like 3 years,
In his
so
life
since
in
he's
the
been
NFL.
drafted,
Like
yeah.
I don't really know what we were doing there. Like that was supposed to be like this crazy receiver class, and I mean it gave you Justin Jefferson, it gave you CD Lamb. So I mean I guess it wasn't really overrated, but I mean the first two to go were Judy and Ruggs, and I
Hmm.
mean Ruggs obviously was
Yeah.
whatever. I mean Judy never really turned into anything like at all.
And on that Raiders side, um, Minshew obviously gets to keep his job because he won, but like he didn't win in like great fashion.
No, I mean they're going to draft the quarterback this offseason.
No,
Like
they've been debating on moving on, going to Aiden O'Connell, going back to Aiden O'Connell if Minshew messes up, and so I was thinking that
it
Aiden
just
O'Connell
doesn't.
was going to go in there, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think you stay with Minshew,
No, I mean
and
just ride him out. If he's shitsy and you get to
yeah,
number two, like I honestly think that what they should do is just draft Carson Beck. Just pair him
yeah,
with Bowers again. Like
mhm,
I mean, I don't like. I'm not trying to hate, but I mean, I'm not real high on Carson Beck as an NFL prospect. I really don't think he
no,
translates that
you
well.
were watching
I
him
don't
earlier,
understand. I don't understand why people think he's going to go number one overall. Why he
yeah, and
deserves to go number one overall. I mean, like that's really all. I don't know if you have
we'll get
anything
to
else.
that when we go to the Georgia game.
Okay,
But for sure, yeah, I totally agree.
yeah, we can.
One more thing about that Raiders game, Alexander Madison had more rushing yards than Zamir White on 12 less carries. I mean, is it time to like? I mean, I guess it's too early still, but like, I don't think Zamir White is the number one back that everyone thought he was.
No, I don't think he is either. I don't
I
think anyone
don't.
ever thought he was. I mean, he kind of like he didn't even have a lot of hype out of him around him coming out of Georgia. He kind of just had
Yeah,
built-in hype because he was came from the same system that gave Chubb, Sony Michel,
yeah, for
Damien,
sure.
what's his face? There's one I'm missing. I don't know. I still don't want, but DeAndre Swift. But
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, he wasn't. I'm not really.
We got a Chiefs game next, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, another call, another bad call. Like, I mean, like I that one isn't game deciding necessarily because they could have kicked the field goal and still won. Um, but I mean, what are we doing? Like, I mean, the announcers didn't see defensive holding. I watched that clip like 18 times, didn't see defensive holding. I mean, this is like the fourth week in a row. Like, it's got to stop at some point. Like, it really does feel like when you play the Chiefs, you're playing the Chiefs and the refs. And like, I mean, Patrick Mahomes finally had some like real good throws, like what you expect from him. Um,
but
I
he's
mean,
not playing well. I mean, like
no, he's not playing
he has
like
he has his
I don't know.
lowest QBR in his entire career.
Yeah, I mean they
Rookie
just
year
like
too in the one game that he played. I
I
mean,
mean their team just looks like complacent. Like I mean they're winning too. Like it's the like I don't know. I mean we'll see. I mean they have no issues beating like good teams. Like the Falcons are a pretty solid
yeah,
team. The Chargers are a pretty solid team. The Ravens are a good team. Like I don't um
Mahomes now
no.
has 6 touchdowns and 5 picks too. I mean, he's riding the
Yeah,
hot.
and that's with some of his picks getting called back too.
Yeah, like
Like
yeah. I mean, it's been terrible.
it's been like I just like I don't like I know that right now that they mean record wise are the best team in the league, but like
Yeah,
postseason, I don't like. I think there are better teams that are playing much better than the Chiefs are playing right now.
for sure.
Um,
And I mean, like just on the Chiefs, at least Kelsey's kind of bouncing back. He had 89 yards on 7 catches. He's been quiet. It's been crazy. And then Xavier Worthy's going to have to step up now that Rashee Rice is out from whatever that was.
yeah, we'll see what Xavier Worthy's gonna do. I'm not
He needs to.
like he's one dimensional, so we'll see. But again, speed kills. So
3 receptions for 73 yards.
yeah, I mean exactly. Like I mean that's
I
gonna
will say he has to get more than 4 targets a game.
yeah
That's a huge part in that. Also, welcome back to the NFL, Kareem Hunt.
yep. Shout
I
out
don't
Kareem
know. I
Hunt.
don't know how we're back at this, but
Um,
14 carries for
yeah, I mean
69
Monday night.
yards. Yeah. And I mean, like they beat a Chargers team that wasn't even 100% too. Like Justin Herbert's still battling that ankle injury, and
Yeah,
J.K. Dobbins had 14 carries for 32 yards, and their run game is just trash. Isn't J.K. Dobbins leading the league in like receiving yards before this week?
I thought
Something
so,
like
but
that.
I
He
mean
has a
don't quote me on that, but
yeah.
I thought so. You're
I
not falling
can't
off.
say it for sure, but yeah, it's just crazy. Um, the Chargers need to have a better run game, and hopefully Herbert can get healthy enough to win games. Because he was playing great when he like last week when he
Yeah,
came in, until he got hurt again. But
yeah. I mean, injuries are they're gonna slow the Chargers down this season because I think this is their best chance they've had in a few years to be a really good team.
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
You,
we kind of already brushed over. I mean, Ravens slaughtered the Bills, Lamar
yeah,
Jackson, Derrick Henry. We kind of talked about that. Monday night, again, the Titans, Dolphins. I mean, that has to be one of the worst professional games I've ever
for
seen.
sure.
I mean, they
Shout
played
out Nick Folk
like
though.
I'm sorry, like I think the three worst teams in the league are the Jaguars, the Dolphins, and the Titans in no specific order right now. I'd probably say Jaguars are the worst, but I mean those three like they're really really bad. The Dolphins need a quarterback. Mike McDaniel has some questions he needs to answer because it seems like he is running an offense that only Tua runs.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really like where that's going. I mean, Will Levis, dude, I don't like clip farming in the NFL is probably not the best way to keep your job. Like he's just
Yeah.
diving out of bounds. Like he's like
Hmm.
his entire body is over like out of bounds, and he's like dive. I don't know what we're doing there. That's
Yeah, and,
that's got to
and I'll
stop.
go I'll go back to my Anthony Richardson comment earlier. Will Levis threw 4 passes. Anthony Richardson threw 4 passes. Although Will Levis had 25 yards, Anthony Richardson had 71, and uh, Will Levis threw a pick. I mean, you look at
I
that
mean, Will
difference,
Levis is dog
and
water. Like Will Levis is
I
mayonnaise
know,
water.
but
He's
you
the
look at
mayonnaise water that's left over after he's put it in his coffee. Like I don't really have anything good to
yeah,
say about Will Levis as a
no,
quarterback in
nothing.
the NFL. Um, I don't
Uh,
believe in Will Levis. I think it's time to move on from Will Levis. I
yeah,
would trade him for a bag of chips at this point. I would trade him for coal for my stocking this season if I was the Tennessee Titans. I mean, this guy is not it. He cannot play football. He
for
is
sure.
out here playing fourth grade football, but he doesn't realize he's playing against professionals. I don't understand why he wasn't benched before. Mason Rudolph, congratulations to him winning the game. Or congratulations to the Dolphins on losing the game. Whichever one you want to take. I mean, you
Congratulations on to Nick Folk on being kicker of the week, 5 for 5 field goals,
Oh yeah, I
50
mean it's just
yards.
dominant performance. I mean,
Mhm.
I'd put Nick Folk at quarterback before I put Will Levis back in there. I'm not kidding. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he's got to stay off the
for
field. Like
sure.
he's
Yeah.
got to stay off the field. Um, the Seahawks
Although,
Lions, and that was a great Monday night game.
hmm yeah,
Um,
that was super fun to watch.
Jared Goff, dude, I told you
Oh my God, player of the
we
week,
were talking about
Jared
top
Goff.
quarterbacks in the league
I
last
know,
week. I
huge.
said Jared Goff was top five. Everyone was like, I'm not, I mean, perfect game,
Oh, I
receiving
like it.
touchdown, two passing touchdowns, no incompletions, and a win. I mean, he's
Huge.
doing everything they need. The Lions
Receiving touchdown
offense
was
is,
crazy. He had to,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
insane.
I mean, the Lions offense is legit. Like Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon Ra,
Yeah,
J-Mo. I mean, they're all like that's a
just
skill. Like that's a
nonstop
team.
weapons.
Yeah, that's a team that you really don't want to face. I mean,
I know.
Geno played well too.
Yeah,
I mean, almost 400 yards. I mean, a turnover, but a touchdown. Like, wasn't really a bad game from him. It was just a dominant game from the Lions as a whole. Like,
yeah. I mean, Gino
um,
played decently well. K9 had 12 carries for 80 yards. DK had 7 catches for 104 yards. The Seahawks offense didn't play bad. They just got smoked from
yeah,
Jared
I
Goff.
mean, like you can't. I mean, they could not stop, and that was with like getting pressure on Golf, sacking
Yeah.
Golf. I mean, they still
Hmm.
like they just could not stop that offense. Like, um, but yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about the NFL. Moving to my favorite topic of the day, the
Yeah, for
Heisman
sure.
race. The Heisman race. I believe that it's between four players, kind of five if you want to look at
Are
some
you
outside.
putting Carson Beck out there?
Hell no. Carson Beck can
Yeah,
stay the
okay,
hell out of
good.
my Heisman
That's
contention.
fine. Yeah, I know.
I think you really have to look at Jalen Milroe, Ashton
Mhm.
Jeanty, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward. And you can, in my opinion, you can still slide in Nico Iamaleava. Um, Again, he hasn't really played anyone yet, but if they start getting into SEC competition, he's still dominating that. Maybe
For sure.
he becomes a name to watch. But I mean, right now, I believe Travis Hunter's the best player in college football.
Yeah.
The Heisman is supposed to be awarded to the best player in college football, and off of that, I'd give it to Travis Hunter. Again, almost 100 receiving yards, touchdown, and an acrobatic interception. Again, like it's a week in, week out thing for this guy. Um, and Genty over 800 yards and 13 touchdowns in 4 games. Like, but I mean, I hate to be cynical. I just don't really see them giving that award to a group of five running back.
Yeah.
when they have let's
It's an
talk about it.
elite run though. It's an
Yeah,
elite
I
run.
mean, when they have an SEC quarterback doing what Milroe's doing, I mean, it's like the award is basically made for him.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's his to lose. Like, he has to have a couple, at least one really bad game, maybe a couple not great games to really lose it. Um, I mean, but he's just played phenomenal. Like, Ryan Williams has been insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Great
17 years
defense.
old. Like, I don't really know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's been crazy to watch. And then Cam Ward, I don't like he was probably everyone's favorite up until they played Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he was
Dice,
definitely my
Dicey
favorite
called
until then. Yeah.
Dicey called to end that game, but I mean, he kind of looked like that he was figured out a little bit, tried to play a little hero ball,
Mhm.
kind of cost his team some drives, but I mean, those are really the four that I think it's between. And if you want to start talking about that Bama Georgia game, that was
Yeah, for sure.
game of the year so far in college
Yeah,
football.
I mean that's what like college football is made for, right? Is
Yeah, absolutely.
Georgia versus Bama, SEC rivalry, like huge game. I
Top
wish it was
five
Auburn
matchup.
versus one of them, but we don't get that luxury. Um,
No, we don't.
yeah, not at all. um, but it was a great like super fun game to watch. It looked like it was gonna get out of hand and it was gonna be a terrible game and we weren't gonna have fun watching it. And
Yeah.
then it just totally 360. Like
Yeah, I mean Georgia started in the second half. Um they played a different defensive coverage. I don't know why I'm totally blanking on that. Did you watch the game?
yeah,
Um they switched to I don't know if it was three safeties or just to drop some linebackers back
mhm,
to prevent those big throws that cost them the first half, and that really kept them in it.
yeah,
Um but I mean if teams see that, like if Texas sees that and they don't have to adjust at halftime, already down 30, I mean that could be a problem for Alabama because Milroe, I mean, a little bit like Anthony Richardson. He's not great throwing over the middle, throwing intermediate
mhm.
crossers. But I mean, he can launch the football. Like he is a rocket launcher, and if you kind of take away the deep ball, it's a little bit easier to figure out their offense.
Yeah,
But
but if you're
still,
trying to take away that deep ball, then you gotta worry about Milrow on the ground. I mean, Milrow had
or just
six.
the run game in general. Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, like they're all like
Yeah, but let's look at that right now. Milrow had 117 yards. You know how much the entire rest of Bama's rushing
it was
yards?
less than him. I know he dominated on the
It
ground
was
that
like
game.
56.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, a lot of those are designed runs too, scrambles out of play.
yeah,
I mean, Miller was really good. Like, I mean, he's a really good quarterback.
for sure.
Um,
We were just
he's,
talking
in
about
my
him
opinion,
number one
based
again.
off what we've seen from Bama quarterbacks going to the NFL, Milroe's game to me could potentially translate better than all of them, just
I
because of his like physical ability to run the football.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, other than that, like there weren't really.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you can just highlight Ryan Williams real quick. I mean, 6 receptions for 177 yards is
I mean,
insane. He also
I
caught
mean
that
it's
game-winning touchdown. Just made the
one A, one B,
like,
and the bobble catch, dude. That's probably one of the best catches of the season.
yeah,
Um,
made the defenders
I
look
mean,
like
had that gone for a touchdown, that place would have erupted.
yeah,
But still, I mean, him and Jeremiah Smith, it's like 1A, 1B.
yeah,
Um,
and
I don't think there's a more talented receiver in college football than Jeremiah Smith.
I
Um,
agree.
but
I
Ryan Williams, I mean, he's doing stuff that no one's doing. I mean,
mhm,
and to not even be an adult, like that's just still
yeah,
crazy. Um,
it's insane. I will say, like, it's not like a huge thing because they got past it, but Ryan Williams did muff that punt inside the 5
yeah,
in the fourth quarter.
yeah.
I think it was. I think it was in the fourth quarter at least.
It's
Like
like
that was
Auburn muffing that punt in
that
the Iron Bowl last year.
that can't that yeah. I don't really want to talk about that, but like that's some of the, like the rookie stuff that he does need to clean up in his game, and
Yeah,
I
no,
bet he
I
can.
agree.
Like,
I agree 100% with you.
but hopefully
Um,
hopefully he can clean that up. Um, we can just go like I mean the NHL and NBA is about to start, so we can run through that real quick. Who's your favorite for NBA? You got anything yet or
dude,
nothing?
favorite for NBA, dude. I gotta go with my Thunder. I
Okay.
love getting rid of Giddy. He can't
Yeah.
play defense and he can't shoot the fucking ball. Get him out of here. Like, we need our Canadian team. We don't need them Australians. Like, Lou, Shea. I'm really excited for what we're going to do this season. I think the Thunder have a good chance. Again, hard to bet against the Celtics right now. They didn't really,
Yeah.
like,
Those
move
Celtics.
backwards at all. I know, like,
Huge.
the Knicks trade. I don't know what on
Yeah.
earth the Knicks are
I,
thinking.
no, what do
Like,
you mean?
No, no,
Cat
no.
coming
They're,
in there.
they're on LSD, bro. The entire organization's on LSD for that shit. You're not giving away Julius Randle. One second. Like, let me just look back at this trade, dude. I was flabbergasted when I saw this shit.
Julius Randle didn't play last year, like at the end of last year, and the Knicks were contenders.
Oh, no, 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 no. Just wait. No, wait. Um, I mean, again, him and Brunson, like, it's gonna be a great duo. Um, but Towns is like the softest big man in the league.
Yeah, I
And like I
mean,
just yeah, DiVincenzo and Randall. I was just blanking on DiVincenzo. I knew that
yeah.
it was bad. And a first round. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like I thought this was one of the
Well,
stupidest things the Knicks have done.
DiVincenzo wanted to leave though. He wasn't going to stay no matter what.
I mean, that sucks for the Knicks, dude. Like I mean, he
Yeah, I
was
mean, and he just got matched up with all of his buddies, like, and then they tell him that he's going to get a like reduced role, and then he's like, okay, yeah, I'm out. Like
yeah.
that's crazy.
We'll see how that pans out. I'm not high on it.
Yeah. Did you see that Braves Mets game?
I did catch a little bit of that.
Last little bit. That was
Caught you a little
crazy.
bit of
The
that.
double header. Mets.
Yeah.
That was like one of the craziest baseball things I've ever watched. Like that wasn't postseason. I mean, it pretty much was. It was a playoff
I mean,
game.
it pretty much was a playoff game. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I do wish that the Mets kept their guys in for that second game, so that I mean, I'm from Atlanta, so like I wanted the Braves to win,
No,
but
I was very
I,
pleased
I
with the
wish
Braves' victory there. But
I wish the Mets kept their guys in so that we could see what would have
yeah,
happened in the second
no,
game. That would have been
I
super
feel
fun
that.
to watch. But yeah, no, coming back in that first game was insane. That was super fun to watch with that Lindor 2-run homer. That was crazy in the ninth, and then the Braves just couldn't respond. But now they're both in the playoffs. We'll see where they can go from there.
Yeah, the playoffs should be interesting. I'm excited to watch the MLB playoffs this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Should be super fun.
Um,
I think that's it. I think you can
yeah,
wrap it up. First episode in the books.
first episode done.
All right, awesome.